So, hello, everybody. I'm so excited for all of you and thankful actually for everyone who's joining to get educated once again. Welcome to Ikigai is a lifestyle series of getting educated. And today on the call, I'm so excited to have Christopher Sasha that we met actually once again a few years back in Chicago. And Christopher is a model, is a personal trainer, entrepreneur. He's an author and absolutely amazing human being from many perspectives of life. I would say that his outlook to life, his outlook to health, to relationship, to business, just in general, I'm really excited to have you on the call. So just not to mess it up anything, right? Like we talked, tell us more a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on here, and I appreciate the great introduction. It was lovely meeting you here in Chicago. I'm sad that you're gone, though. It's like you're really an inspiration. You're always helping people and making people, educating people with health and helping them live a better quality life. And that's what I learned, and many things I appreciate about you. So thank you for having me here, talking about the things that we're going to be talking about today. So what Inga said was everything's true. It's all true. I'm basically a functional health strategist here in Chicago. I'm affiliated with high net wealth people here in Chicago, and the people I deal with, they all have very high stress, and stress is a huge culprit to many of our diseases today. So if we can lower our stress levels, we can lower a lot of today's modern diseases. Stress creates a lot of inflammation, and inflammation is the root cause of many of today's chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, heart disease, strokes, arthritis, cancers. So if we can get the inflammation down, we can help eliminate a lot of these premature diseases that we get that lead to a premature demise, living a better quality life. So that's part of the things that I wanted to get involved with Inga with, is to help educate people on things. And the thing is, most people listen to their doctors because that's the way we're trained here in America. I don't know how it is out in Europe, but here in America, we're trained. We're trained to listen to our doctors. When something's wrong, we go to our doctor. He gives us a pill. But pills they only mask the symptoms. They don't cure you. They don't prevent anything. They don't reverse anything. I work a lot with type 2 diabetes, and there's never been a pill. Metformin is usually the first medication that people go on when they're diagnosed as being type 2 diabetic. There's never been a pill that has reversed diabetes, but I've been able to reverse diabetes with people naturally through nutrition, through exercise, better quality sleep. Sleep is huge. People are just like, you know what the saying is, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well, you're going to die much younger if you don't sleep. So sleep is huge because that's when your body repairs itself. It's sort of like bringing your car into a mechanic, getting a tune-up, getting an oil change. It's the same thing as your body. Your body needs that every single day, because during the day, you're destroying your body through the pollution that we're breathing, the food that we eat, the stress that we accumulate. All these things, your cells deteriorate and they need to be rebuilt. And that's when all this happens, is while you're sleeping. So we need to get 8 hours of sleep because of the sleep cycles that we go through. There's 5 of them that we go through, and each of them are like an hour and a half long. And each one of them does different things for your body, whether it be working on a cellular level, repairing bone, repairing muscle tissue, repairing brain cells. So all these things your body goes through while you're sleeping. So sleep is so important. So if you get anything out of this talk that we're having, sleep, try to get more sleep, quality sleep, not tossing and turning. Quality sleep is what you need. So that's a huge thing.
When
But I
you
think we're going to be talking more. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no. Like when you mentioned stress, what kind of stress people can have? Like, give us some guidance. Like what kind of stress is it?
Okay. Stress, there's many different types of stress. Physical stress, like when you're working out, or if you get hit by a car, going through surgery, stress is like that. That's physical stress. Then you have emotional stress. So emotional stress could be like the loss of a loved one, breaking up with a relationship, divorce, how you're going to pay the bills, emotional stress like that. Then there's chemical stress. These are all stresses we all go through every day. So then there's chemical stress, which is prescription drugs. So many people don't realize that when you pop a pill, your liver, it's a poison to your liver because your liver has to process it. And your body doesn't know any of these man-made things. Your body only knows natural-made things that are created in this world, like nutrition that I'm sure we'll be talking about at some point. But when it's man-made, your body doesn't know what it is, so it's like a foreign invader, and your body has to attack it, and it goes through stress as well. Did you know that prescription drugs kill 500,000 people? I don't know if it's Americans or people worldwide. 500,000 people a year die from prescribed medications. So that's basically one person per minute of every year is dying because of a prescribed medication.
And
It's
it's a
like these,
fact. It's
it's
a
a
fact.
fact. Right.
Wow. And I like what we talked about like earlier before about like FDA approved, so it's Food and Drug approved, right? And
Mhm.
you said something about run tests. Can you repeat it again to remember, if it's
I'm
okay?
sorry, what was that?
Like you said, to get FDA approved
Oh,
when
right.
they run the tests. I love that. When you shared with me earlier, I was like, light bulb, boo! What was
Yes, the FDA, when they approve medications have to go through a series of tests. And from big pharma or whoever's trying to get the FDA. FDA approves not only drugs, but also medical devices and some other things.
food?
But it has to go through a process. And for drugs, let's take a drug from Pfizer, medical pharmaceutical company. They come up with a drug and they have to test it. So they go through all these tests. They go through computer module tests, and once it passes that, then it goes through animal tests. When it passes the animal tests, then it goes to human tests called cohort studies. And they have to go through all these tests, and the drug has to be positive at least 2 times. So they have to prove that the drug works at least 2 times. But the company can make it they can do as many tests as they want. They could do 5 trillion tests if they want, but only 2 of them have to be positive. And then there's the whole thing with the placebo effect. So sometimes the tests get approved because placebo effects, people want it to work. So it works in their body just by chance. I mean, placebo effect isn't 100%, but sometimes the studies are approved because placebo effect being one of the reasons why it passed, and many other reasons. But the sad thing is that the people that are testing the medication, they have to give the FDA all the test results, every single, whether it was a failure test or a successful test. They have to give all of them to the FDA, but they could cherry pick and only pick out whatever test they want to give to the public to make it look like a great drug. So the public doesn't know anything about all these failed tests. All they know is about whatever the pharmaceutical company wants you to know. And then what do they do on these? Here in America, they're allowed to advertise on TV. New Zealand is allowed to advertise drugs as well, and Russia. Those are only 3 countries I'm aware of that are allowed to. Countries are allowed to advertise drugs on TV. And then on these TV advertisements, what do you see? You see these people laughing, they're having fun, it's all family orientated. And then you hear like the announcer in the background very quickly and very softly. Side effects may attain impotence, death, cancer, blah, 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 really quick. You don't hear any of that because you're
By
watching
the way,
these people having fun.
by the way, we're having good time, but I might die. Like,
Exactly.
it's just because I'm taking this drug, it might cause me heart failure, but it's okay. You can take another drug, isn't it?
Well, nobody wants to, I shouldn't say that. Many people like us, and that's part of what we're doing here, is we're
Yeah.
trying to educate people about health. Many people don't want to change their lifestyles. They just want to pop a pill, but they don't realize what the pill is doing. They're just masking the symptom. You still have that disease. Well, I'll go back to type 2 diabetes. You still have type 2 diabetes when you're taking a drug. It's just that the drug is masking your symptoms.
So,
So as soon as you stop taking a drug, you start having the symptoms again. So if you can change it through lifestyle and lifestyle behaviors, your chances of being successful in getting rid of that disease are much higher than taking a drug.
so
Plus, it's cheaper.
yeah, and like you mentioned, like so you're a fitness trainer and you love nutrition, right? And I compare, like, what would you say? How much fitness and nutrition? What parts doesn't play? What plays
Okay.
the part?
Most people think that health revolves around just nutrition and exercise. There's only 2 of them. There's other pillars of exercise I talk about in my online health course I provide. But nutrition is probably 75 to 80% of your health. If you give our bodies are designed to heal themselves. They're
Yeah.
designed to be self-regulating, self-healing. If you give them the proper raw materials, proper
Okay.
nutrition, exercise, movement, proper sleep, reducing stress, these are all raw materials that your body needs to repair itself. So if you can provide these things for your body will repair itself. You give it some time. People like, I get it all the time when I'm starting a new client. My client's like, how quickly can I look like you? I'm like, well,
It
how
took me.
quickly did you get this fat and unhealthy? I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. They're expecting like one workout and they're like in shape
Okay.
again.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this question. If you don't want to then answer, can you just tell us the age gap you were at, just for people, just let us know if it's okay with you.
How old I am?
Yeah,
I'm 50.
I know that. Isn't it awesome? Look what's possible, but it doesn't happen overnight, right? It was your
Right.
lifestyle, and the longer you go, the better it gets, right?
Right. You can slow down the aging process. The reason why most of us look much older and have these diseases much quicker in life is because our lifestyles. We eat
Absolutely.
whatever we want, and I mean, I know in Europe that the food is much cleaner than the United States. In fact, when I was in Italy a couple of years ago, I deliberately looked at similar products that we have in the United States compared to the products that they had, like cereal being one of them. I remember it's like you guys don't have all the crap that we, even though it comes from the same company. Our FDA allows all this crap in here, and it doesn't allow it. Your countries,
Yes.
a lot of European countries don't allow the stuff that American companies are allowed to have. And it's just baffling. Why do you do that? And if I'm going to be completely honest, it's all money. Our healthcare system here in America is really a sick care system because they don't make money off of dead people. They don't make money off healthy people. So they want you sick. So they want to maintain you to be sick as long as possible because you have to keep taking. For every drug, there's a side effect. So you need another drug for that side effect, but then you get another side effect. So it's compounded. So they make more
Go
and more money off of you, and you don't get any better. You get sicker and sicker.
and you
It's
go to the hospitals, and there's insurance involved, and there's a vicious cycle, like literally like vicious cycle. And when we talked about the food, right? So nutrition, no
Mhm.
sugar, it's such a big thing. Should we eat sugar? Should we be paleo? Like, what is this? Like, do we need sugar? How much sugar? What kind of sugar? Should we eliminate it? Right?
anything that's processed, again, like I said earlier, anything that's man-made or processed through man-made manufacturing, our bodies don't know what it is. So it attacks it and it creates stress and creates these things called free radicals, which cause disease and aging and death. So when it comes to sugar, I'm assuming we're talking about refined sugar,
Mhm.
sugar that makes
Sugar in
things taste
general.
better.
In
Well, there's
general, when
different
people,
types of sugar.
yes, exactly. When people see it on a label, what's in it? Oh, it has like 12 grams of sugar.
Okay.
But don't we need sugar for our brain function?
Our brains actually, there's studies out there now that are showing that our brains actually work better off of ketones, which are fat. But our bodies also need glucose, which is another word for sugar. So our bodies convert the foods that we eat into glucose, a
Mhm.
form of energy that our bodies can use. But when you say 12 grams, this is important
I'm
also.
just
When you say 12 grams, or you could say 16 grams, or like a can of Coke is 40 grams of sugar in one can of Coke. So the thing to know about sugar is 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon. So in one can of Coke, there's 10 teaspoons of sugar. And one of the talks that I gave a few months ago is I was up on stage and I asked everybody who drinks Coke or Pepsi or Mountain Dew or 7 Up. And a lot of people raised their hands. So I asked one of the people to come up on stage. So they did. And I had a bag of sugar and a glass of water. And I took 10 teaspoons of sugar and I kept putting it into the water. And I said, will you drink this, please? And they're
no.
like, no, that's disgusting. And like every time you drink a Coke, that's what you're drinking. It's just our eyes don't see what we're having. Our bodies don't see it as we see it, the foods that we have. So every 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon of sugar. 1 teaspoon of sugar for every
Mhm.
4 grams. But WHO is the World Health Organization. They're like the big gold standard of who you should be listening to when it comes to health. like food and things like that and exercise. And they say that sugar should be limited to about 5% or less of your daily diet. That's where sugar, but then there's different kinds of sugar. That's processed sugar that we're talking about, that man-made sugar. Then there's sugar in the foods that we eat automatically. There's sugar in vegetables. There's sugar in fruit. I'm against fruit. A lot of people aren't, but a lot of people are becoming aware that sugar is in fruit. And what fruit is basically packets of sugar with a few vitamins and minerals. So you're getting a lot of sugar, and sugar is two compounds. It's fructose and it's glucose. The UCLA, the University of California in LA, they showed, they proved in a study that cancer cells feed off of fructose, and they multiply rapid, like 10 times faster than normal cells do. And that's why cancer cells grow so quickly. And because of the fructose, you just thrive in it. It's like crack. It's like candy for kids. These like go wild and crazy with all this. So fructose, I limit down as much as possible. There's not many vitamins or minerals in fruits that you can't get from vegetables. Vegetables are a complex sugar where it takes longer for the sugar to go through your system, so your blood sugar levels stay more level. They don't spike up and then crash the way you need sugar again to spike up and crash again. So when you have more vegetables, you have like a steady flow of energy coming up, and then it comes down slowly, so you don't get tired where you need to have more sugar or caffeine. We could talk about caffeine at another time. That's another big issue that here in America is. I don't know how it is in Europe, but
Worldwide,
caffeine is
let's be honest,
huge.
it's worldwide. When you look, at the health issues, it's worldwide crisis. I would say it crisis at this point when you look around and where people are at. So
Right.
absolutely. And the other day, I remember we talked about um, liquid versus solid foods, right? Why
Mhm.
people should choose and look into, like why liquid foods, liquid form of a food.
As long as it's healthy, you're right. Liquid form, it's all about how quickly it goes into the cell. It's called bioavailable,
Yes.
or absorption, people might know as. So liquid form, when you take a good quality food and it's got a lot and it's nutrient dense and not so high in calories, liquid form is the way to go. So it gets into your cells much quicker and your body utilizes it instead of being flushed down the toilet. So liquid form is the most important. So when
Hmm.
you're taking like supplements and stuff, liquid form is the best form for a good quality supplement. Then powder form is next. Your body is able to absorb it pretty easily. Then capsule form. Capsule form, your body has a very hard time absorbing. Most of it gets flushed down the toilet, so you're wasting your money on a lot of stuff. And we could talk about some supplements also that you buy in a grocery store. It's completely waste your money because all it is a marketing scheme. They give you very cheap products, and the profit margin is high because of what they're charging you, and your body isn't utilizing most of it gets flushed down the toilet. Your body isn't utilizing most of it.
Yeah. Makes so much sense, like because what we see on the TV, it's not necessarily going to educate us. Don't go buy to the store because that's masses of people probably. That's what we do. We absorb information, and we just naturally start doing it. So absolutely. There's so many like interesting and, topics we can talk about. I remember you talked about like, yeah, antioxidants, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same. Go ahead.
Okay, most people don't know what antioxidants are, and
I
I don't
mean,
want to like take over this whole conversation. So if you
no,
want to talk, go
that's
ahead.
the whole point. That's the whole point because I think for us to have a conversation, both of us have a knowledge, right? And like people,
Right.
okay, another thing and subject like I really like passionate about. People like, hey, but I eat healthy. Hey, but I'm vegan. I'm like I said, I eat organic and I eat vegan or vegetarian or whatever the people choose to, or paleo or keto, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you still recommend people supplementing and taking their health to the next level? Isn't it like enough? Like people say, oh, I'm healthy, but maybe I'm lacking energy. Why?
You know what? A long time ago, one of my clients told me that only the wealthy can eat properly. And I didn't really know what he meant because back then I thought I was eating healthy too. I mean, I still had like a 7% body fat, and I was very healthy. And I thought I was eating it properly, but I wasn't eating organic. I was buying things fresh from the store, and I thought that was healthy. And then I started educating myself. And when I wrote my book, that's when I really like delved into all this stuff. And no, when you write a book, everything is like a web, it's like a labyrinth. You're focusing on one thing, and then you learn something else, and you go out to that thing, and then you learn something else. So it's like you're learning all these different things, and that's how I got all my knowledge, is through all this research I did, through my doctors telling me things. And so that's one of the biggest problems people have, is that we're health illiterate. And I was health illiterate at that time too. So when he told me that only the wealthy can eat properly, it didn't make sense. But as I evolved with my education on this, what he meant was that it's very expensive to eat good quality food. Instead of having conventional beef, you have grass-fed beef. Grass-fed beef has many more omega-3s than omega-6s that conventional beef has. And we can talk about that some other time too. But
No, no, we
that's
can
one,
talk.
everything is so expensive to eat properly. And then there's the question of how organic is organic. Our soils here in America are so depleted of vitamins and minerals that you might think that you're getting a good quality thing, but you're still not, because there's no vitamins and minerals in the over-farmed lands that we have over here. Plus all the pollutions that we have in America. We've got all the pesticides, herbicides, pesticides. Pesticides, do you know where they come from? I didn't know this either until I wrote the book.
I know side means death in Latin. That's what I know.
Well, I didn't know that, so now I know even more. Pesticides actually come from nerve gas that they used in World War II to kill people. So what it does is it attacks the nervous system of the bug, and it dies. So when you're eating pesticides, even though it's a smaller amount, you're much bigger than a little bug. You're still killing yourself little by little, and you're getting into these diseases because you've got nerve gas going through you, basically. So pesticides and herbicides, all these things to help crops grow quicker and everything, are actually doing you a disservice in the long run. You're either going to pay for your health in the front end, or you're going to pay for health in the back end. You're either going to make choices, healthier choices that are going to cost you more money with the food, and getting a gym membership, and learning that stress management with yoga and everything, or you're going to get diseases. I'm not going to say 100%, but I'm going to say your chances of getting diseases are super, super high. And you're going to be paying for medications. You're going to go through a lot of pain. You're probably going to go through surgery. I know type 2 diabetics get their feet amputated. They lose their sight. They get neuropathy. They get nerve damage, numbness in their body parts. They go through all this because they believe in the system that our healthcare is dishing out, saying that you need this medication to get better. You don't need, in type 2 diabetes, you don't need the medication. Oh, and I have to say that there is a time and place for medication, yes.
Yes,
But to take that medication for the rest of your life as a type 2 diabetic is not true. It's not true at all. So
absolutely.
your best bet is, if you have to go on medication, try to avoid it at all costs in the first place. But once you get on medication, it's hard to get off. But you can get off of it, and it can be reversed with type 2 diabetes. There's other diseases that you have that can be reversed also, but I know about type 2 diabetes. You can stay on the medication, say metformin, and then start changing your lifestyle, and eventually you're going to get off of metformin. Or even if you're on insulin, I've had clients get off of insulin because they start changing their diet, they start doing the healthy things. They're no longer, I mean, I'm needle phobic, so I would never want to be a diabetic. And these people are injecting themselves, they're pricking their fingers all day long. And it's like, why go through all this pain when you don't have to? All you do is get educated and make that decision that you want a quality life. I mean, do you want to see your grandchildren live? Do you want to see this? I mean, do you want to explore the world? What do you want to do with your life? Do you just want to, some people, all they do is because they're uneducated and they don't know, you don't know what you don't know. So they don't know about the world out there that they can explore, and they just go to work, factory workers, my background, my family history. All they did is go to work, go home, go to sleep, go to work, go home, go to sleep. They didn't know anything about all this whole world that we have. So if you want to live a quality life, you have to be healthy to do that, to be able to move, be functional. You have to make those healthy choices. And it's not like, okay, I make healthy choices for a year and I'm done.
No.
This is a lifestyle. This is every single day. Every single day I get up, and it gets easier and easier. At the beginning, when I first started getting healthier throughout this education, it was daunting at first. I'm not gonna lie. It's like checking numbers, checking this and that. But in time, you remember all this stuff, and it's like second nature. I don't even think about this anymore. It's just second nature for me. It's a habit for me to be in.
So it's basically like like what we do, it's we investing into ourselves, you know, the value, the quality, that when we choose over the quantity because it's faster, it's cheaper, it's just
Mhm.
the way it is. There are options. So I'm so, excited because we are uh, in the same business field, so we understand, we have a lot, I would say, experience and knowledge and the passion to help people. I remember when you talk like about diabetes, I was on the border of diabetes. When
Mm.
I had no idea. I went to the regular checkup, and I mean, right before my surgery I had like 4 years ago, doctors told me, "Did you know you're on the border of diabetes?" I had no clue. I thought I was eating healthy. I thought because I was making my smoothies, I was eating my vegetables, you know, but once again, I wasn't educated enough. I wasn't. I
Yeah.
thought I knew, but I didn't have the results. So once again, all one thing that I always give advice to people now: take only advice from people who have the results, right?
Right.
Well, that you want to have. This is the people that want to take advice from. So
Right.
about nutrition, totally. Like it's our lifestyle and nutrition combined. You know, so
And I think there's two things I want to say what you just said. First of all, most people don't know that they're pre-diabetic. There's such a huge amount.
absolutely.
I Part of my book is I gained a lot. I gained like 40 pounds because I wanted to show with weight gain comes the increase of diseases.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I did a lot of blood work along the way. And as my body fat increased, my disease rates also increased. Type 2 diabetes being one of them, my cholesterol being another. All my numbers started going up. My insulin and glucose levels were off the charts. My cholesterol started going sky high and everything. And as I reduced the weight back down, I dropped like 45 pounds when I came down. All of those symptoms went away. So it's visceral fat. There's a lot of fat. People don't understand fat. It's like
Here you go.
fat. First of all, in foods, fat is not the culprit. Sugar is the culprit. That's what's making you fat because of all the hormonal cascade of hormones that happen when you eat sugar that causes all these diseases getting fatter. There's subcutaneous fat. That's the fat that's underneath your skin. So when you pinch your
Mhm.
cheek, that's subcutaneous fat. Then when you pinch your stomach, that's that's visceral fat. That's where all the diseases come from. It's called ectopic fat, fat that's not supposed to be in a certain area. So
Yeah.
for diabetes, what it is type 2 diabetes. What it is that there's fat getting inside the pancreas. So the pancreas, the beta cells that produce insulin, don't function properly. So if you get rid of that body fat that's inside the pancreas, you get rid of the diabetes, and it's been proven. So fat is huge. You got to keep the body fat down. I'm not saying that you have to have six pack abs. All
Mhm.
I'm saying is that for a male, have your waistline definitely below 40, because for 40 and above inch waistline around your belly button is where you measure. 40 and above for a male is called, you're classified as being obese, and all these heart issues and cardiovascular issues and other diseases, cancer come into play once you're above that level. For women, it's 35 inches and above. You're classified as being obese. So you want to have your waistline at the minimum below 40 for males and below 35 for females.
So I just Googled it, okay? Because some people are looking in centimeters. So 40 inch, you said?
Right.
So it's 101 centimeters for male, right? And 35 centimeters, 35?
35 inches.
30. Is it 101 centimeters for the waist? My,
I don't know centimeters, so is it 2.54? 54 times.
so you know already. I'm like, I'm gonna
I
look
don't have my
at
calculator now.
you like I know everything. And it's like I like what you said, like looking at the fat and sugar, right? What about protein? Like what's the right? Where is that perfect middle?
See, people, our bodies are made of protein. Your skin, your bones, your muscles, everything is made of protein. So you need protein in your body. People push the carbs. I mean, a lot of these diets, which
Yeah.
I don't agree with, they're saying 55 to 65% of your diet should be carbs. Carbs are energy, yes. Protein could be converted into energy, and fat could be converted into
Yes.
energy as also. Your body goes through a process called gluconeogenesis. Gluco meaning glucose, neo meaning new, genesis meaning create. So your body creates new glucose from fat and protein. So you don't need to have carbs so high. I do a 40%.
Hmm.
If you're going to get your macronutrients, you start doing some calculations I have with my clients. I aim for 40% of my diet coming from carbs, 30% from fat, and 30% from protein. Now,
Nice.
when it comes to grams and people are trying to calculate grams and stuff, you should really, rule of thumb is about 1 gram per body pound. So if you weigh 120 pounds, about 120 grams of protein for a woman. But also, the more active you are, you're destroying muscle tissue, so you need more protein. If you go through surgery,
Hmm.
after surgery, your body has to repair everything that's been cut and everything to get those tissues connected again. So it takes a lot of protein. You need to bump up your protein during recovery after surgery as well. So rule of thumb, if you have a relatively active lifestyle, you're not sedentary, sitting in front of a computer all day long, watching TV at nighttime, and that's all you do, you can use a little bit less protein, maybe about 75% of, so if you weigh 100 pounds, 75 grams of protein. You weigh 200 pounds, 150 grams of protein if you're sedentary. But if you're active and you work out like Inga and I do, then you need more protein. So about 1 gram of protein.
I don't work out that much. Please.
Come on, get out of here.
I mean, yes, I'm active. I love a lot active lifestyle, but I'm not yet not one of the people who would spend like an hour at the gym. I love short workouts up to 30 minutes. Sometimes, of course, if it's yoga, I'm gonna go for 2 hours and just chill. So it's
Well,
different, body movement, I would say. So yeah.
you know what? That's great, and you bring up a good point because people don't want. A lot of people don't want to exercise. They associate exercising with having to lift weights, going to the gym. That's part of it. And as you get older, that becomes more important because your muscle tissue starts deteriorating. Your
Yes.
muscle tissue is what keeps your metabolism up, and also mitochondria. Mitochondria are like the little energy producers in each of your cells. Most of them are in your muscle cells. So when you lose muscle cells, you lose the mitochondria, which means that you lose energy, and we become less and less energized. And me personally, the definition of life is animation, movement. And what's the definition of death? Just the opposite of life, which is the lack of movement, the lack of energy. So as you lose in mitochondria, you lose in life. So we need to keep the muscle tissue up. You need to use resistant weights. And you also bring up a very important point. People, you don't have to work out. A lot of people think more is better, and it's not when it comes to this. It's because of the way that your hormones work. As you, women typically, they do a lot of them do an hour run every day. What happens is like during the first half hour, your hormones like growth hormone, which is a good hormone, it's a fat burning hormone, muscle building hormone, that's a good hormone, growth hormone. That goes up, but then cortisol goes up too. Cortisol deteriorates muscle tissue and it makes you store body fat. The visceral fat that I was talking about that causes diseases and everything, cortisol does that. So there's a fine line between how long you should be working out because your adrenaline and your growth hormone goes up, but then after that, your body goes through stress because it's physical stress that I was talking about earlier at the beginning of this conversation. Your body, when you work out, you're creating physical stress. So cortisol goes up, and then at the break-even point, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes is where you should be stopping because that's where the balance each other out. They cross each other. Growth hormone starts coming down, and cortisol keeps going up. So
Mhm.
about 40, 45 minutes is where my workout ends. So you don't need to have 2 hours in the gym. You don't have to go every day. I work out 3 days a week. And
There you
then
go.
3 days a week, I stretch, and sometimes I'll do cardio because I like the box. So that's how I get my cardio in. But I'll be doing a lot of stretching. I'll do yoga. I'll do meditation is big because of stress management. So
Yeah.
it's all these things that people just need to be educated on. And I think that's what the purpose of what we're doing here is to
Absolutely.
help educate everybody on this. So,
Little changes, changes, maybe
right,
somebody who works out 5 days a week at the gym, maybe one day start doing yoga, maybe start just doing meditation. Give yourself that 30 minutes of peacefulness instead of run, run,
right,
run, get my bag, go to the gym, take a shot, just sit and just chill and just relax and go look at the flowers, work in the park, seriously start
right.
painting, crocheting, I don't know, discover
Yes, I've been meaning to knit a sweater.
like get back to simplicity and
Right,
to allow that body to like really, really have less stress because workout is stress. Like I said, getting to the gym, it's a little bit of a stress, because time management once again has to kick in. Looking at
right.
it, do I have to be at work? Do I have to be with my family? Like how?
Right.
Absolutely loving your talk. So let people know, is there anything else you like to add? What is it you like to add?
Well, we have so many things to talk about, so we'll
I
wait for
know.
another episode.
I think that's what we should do, like more episodes, just educate people would be way more beneficial. So just let people know, all right, what is your book called, where they can get it, like tell information, where can people find you?
Sure, my name is Christopher Sasha. I'm here in Chicago, Illinois, USA. And the name of my book is Transforming Your Lifestyle One Belief at a Time. You could get it on Amazon. And I forget what it's costing because it's been out there for a while. But anyway, you get it on Amazon.com. And you leave me a review also. That'd be great. I also have an online health course at udemy.com, udemy.com. And it's called 4-Week Functional Health Transformation. And it's all about some of the things that we talked about here. It's all about thinking outside the box, not giving you the cursory advice that everybody else is giving you to exercise more and eat less. It's talking about hormones, and it's delving into on a cellular level and understanding,
Absolutely.
so you get better understanding and better results also.
Once
So,
again, like cellular level, get it to the smallest detail, like particles of our body, not the superficial, but
right.
smallest of the smallest. That's where the magic happens. So that's where the fireworks, that's where the growth happens. Right? So absolutely loving having you on a call, Sasha, Christopher. I know it's those two names, right? So thank you again. Looking forward for our next one. Right?
Absolutely. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Inga.
much. Thank you.